What is going on, guys? It is Ahmed and I am back today with yet another video for you all, and today we're going to talk about some stocks that have some short squeeze potential. Now, of course, remember to not make your investment decisions solely based off the fact that these will potentially short squeeze. Rather, look at them as potential good investments long term, past just the short term potential for a short squeeze. Now, remember, my channel is not for financial advice, nor am I a financial advisor. Rather, I try to put you guys on the plays that I'm in. And today I want to mention a few of those, including Zomedica, one of our personal favorites that has had a recent increased amount of short interest and short volume relative to the trade volume day by day. So if we scroll down here on fintel.io, they have pretty solid reports. And if we go up to the short volume ratio, you could see that, relative to the last few days, it looks like today the short volume was 17.278 million shares of the total shares outstanding. And you could see, again, we're going to probably see a short volume ratio that uploads, but it's going to be between 35, in my opinion, to 40 potentially. And again, with that being said, that's pretty significant, right? So for Zomedica, we know that the daily trading volume has been, approximately about 100 million shares per day, give or take, 50, 60 million shares depending on the day itself. But regardless, Zomedica really has some potential for a short squeeze in the short term. Again, all that means is people are going to be buying and holding their shares, especially those, instead of selling off because of the selling pressure. Because again, a lot of people are anticipating, that the earnings are upcoming pretty soon, right? So with earnings upcoming, they can think, this could positively or negatively affect Zomedica's share price. And for most, based off the short volume, looks like it might negatively affect it, because we're going to look at, they did launch True Pharma March 15th, but for about 2 weeks only was it actually live before the end of Q1. So that's when they report quarter on earnings here in the next week or so, on May the 10th, I believe it is. So the three others that have potential for a short squeeze here that were included in this Motley Fool article as of early morning yesterday. But I really thought they had some really good ones on here. So if we could scroll through, you could see they're comparing them to the GME and AMC short squeeze that we saw a few months ago in January. So we know that GameStop was definitely the winner when it comes to a short squeeze, and AMC had a pretty significant one as well, right? We could look at the price action and that's a fact. But the fact is, they are talking about a trio of high growth stocks that might squeeze next here in the month of May. And the first one here is Airbnb. So right now there are 19 million shares of the company's 109 shares afloat that are currently held by short sellers. And it would take an estimated of 4 days to completely cover these shares if pessimists were to get scared. So beyond just having the right recipe for a short squeeze, reasonably high short interest relative to float and high short ratio, Airbnb has three other catalysts in its sales. First, the US and global CV vaccination campaigns are underway. The US, almost 38% of adults have been fully vaccinated, and 55%, more than half the population, has received at least one dose. These vaccinations are key to reaching herd immunity, which will encourage people to travel. Given the incredible amount of pent-up travel demand, Airbnb should be able to shine in the post-pandemic world. So that could be very soon. Of course, there are people who might be pessimistic and saying, wait, we don't know exactly what's going to happen in the short interim when it comes to all these variants, etc. Now, so again, I truly think that Airbnb, although a lot of the shares are held by short sellers, they're going to potentially have to cover because of a lot of positive news that might help. So you could read through and you could see second and third here. But before I go in, I do want to talk about the other two companies. I do want to mention that if you click the link below for Webull, right? They did extend their offer here. You could see through the 31st of May. You get a free stock for opening with the brokerage between $2.50 and $250. Then you get a second free stock when you deposit $100, valued between $8 and $1,600. So potentially, from me to you, for free, pretty much a gift, is this $1,850 that you could potentially get if you're one of the lucky few. If not, at the very least, you get a free $10.50. So hey, lunch on me. Click the link below, get your free stocks. But now let's continue. So PubMatic, that is the second one. 2.93 million shares are held short as of mid-April. This compares to a current flow of 7.23 million. Guys, that is about 40% of their outstanding shares currently held by short sellers. So these people are going to potentially have to cover the short selling if, again, some good news comes out for the company. Now, similar to Airbnb, earnings could represent the catalyst that sends PubMatic flying. When the company delivers its first quarter as a public company on February 23rd, shares catapulted higher by 31% the following day. This was one of the heels of the company's reporting 64% year-over-year sales growth and net income of 34 cents per share, which topped the consensus on Wall Street by 0.04 cents. A repeat performance may be in the cards, folks. So we need to pay attention to these smaller companies that are not as well known. But again, these are publicly traded companies with a decent market cap, right? And last but not least, Skills. SKLZ is the ticker symbol. As of mid-April, 45.3 million shares were held short of the 254.2 million, so about 17% of the shares, with an average daily volume of about 18 million shares. It would take a little over 2.5 days for short sellers to completely exit their positions. So again, in the month of May, these three companies, Skills, SKLZ, PubMatic, PUBM, and last but not least, Airbnb, ticker symbol ABNB. And also I added on top of that, Zomedica, ticker symbol ZOM. These four have true potential, in my opinion, to short squeeze here in the short term during potentially the month of May. So again, for all those who are holding, hopefully you're going to see a squeeze. And if that does happen, remember, always understand, make sure to tell yourself, where am I comfortable leaving my position, taking my profits, and what am I okay with leaving for the long term, right? Because I always recommend and preach, take your profits, capitalize on them instead of missing out on big opportunities. So quick price action for the four stocks that I mentioned today. Zomedica had a pretty tough day, down about 10%. So again, with the short volume, etc., not much news coming out. Earnings we are anticipating, which I'll make a dedicated video for earnings that are coming up here in the next 8 days. They're not going to beat expectations, in my opinion, depending on, of course, what happens in that 2-week period. Did they sell a bunch of units of True Pharma? If they did, then we're going to be talking about, exceeding expectations. But again, because of the short term of the Q1 introduction of their product, we're not going to really see much of sales, if any at all. So again, not much price action with Zomedica. PubMatic, right, sitting at $2.52 billion. So again, still a pretty small market cap company, down about 0.66 on the day. If you look at the 6 month, about 90% up. And yeah, we could pretty much just look at the 6 month chart. But regardless, when it comes to PubMatic, we could see that, again, a pretty significant drop in price. But again, it's still much higher than when it IPO'd not too long ago. But regardless, same thing for Airbnb. We'll look at it, again, down 2.66% on the day. Currently sitting at a market cap of $100.7 billion. But we know this had some significant price action after it IPO this year, 2021. And again, a lot of positive news coming out. More people are willing to travel. More people are vaccinated, etc. That is, again, short-term and long-term catalyst for the company. And we're going to hopefully see this company start waking up and start showing that in their earnings and revenue reports come end of Q1 and, of course, now Q2 2021. Last but not least, Skills, ticker symbol SKLZ. This gaming company is sitting at $6.54 billion. If we go back to what the article stated, again, look at the significance of their short sellers. So they have 45.3 million shares that are held by short sellers. That is insane, folks. So again, four companies, one more time, ticker symbol ZOM or Zomedica. We have Skills, SKLZ. Airbnb, ABNB is the ticker symbol. And last but not least, PubMatic, PUBM. So again, focus on these, look at them, do your own due diligence. And I love how they started off this article. If we scroll up way to the top, they say, let's see here. It was somewhere at the top. Regardless of whether you're relatively new to investing or have been putting your money to work in the market for decades, there's always something new to learn when it comes to learn and see on Wall Street. But if we look here and scroll down, they did mention, and I'll just add on to it, as a caveat, make sure you're not only investing into these companies thinking they're going to short squeeze, because that's something that's super short term. Rather, look at the fundamentals and look at their, overall health. Where are they going? Where are they headed? What is their, 5-year plan? What is their revenues looking like? What are the products that they're selling? Is this a business that I truly like? Because again, if it doesn't end up short squeezing, you will potentially still hold long term in these companies as long as you do believe in them. right? So do your own research, of course. Always do your own due diligence. Take my video, it's just a resource, right? That's what I'm here for. And again, I thank you all for tuning in as always. And until next time, everybody, keep investing.